Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm about to go on an evening out and I'm very sort of annoyed because I've literally spent like 2 hours. I'm ready 2 hours early, so that's a fun time. But I was like, why not use this opportunity to express some interesting information I found recently? What else do I do on the internet? So I'm going to discuss this thing called whether you're an alpha, beta, omega, sigma, or gamma person, either a male or a female. And also my laptop's annoying me, so I'm going to just let that be as well because I don't really want to be using that at the moment. So I'm going to just like do off the top of my head what I think it is, and it's probably good because I can probably engage a bit better anyway. If you're an alpha, female, male, I think I'm this, if I'm honest. That's but see what you think you are with all the options types I present at this point. Alpha is when you, and not to say, and there's no good and there's no bad, and I've definitely met alpha males. People, this is a stereotype of like alpha male being like, I'm sure everyone knows that alpha males aren't necessarily the best types because everyone knows an asshole alpha male. Not to say that they might not be nice because they're alphas, but I'm just saying. So I believe I'm an alpha. So the thing is about alphas is that they begin with being alphas and then they move into being a gamma later in life, because it's kind of like they kind of introvert a little bit because they feel like they've been hurt in past times. So the thing about alpha is that they are usually like to be dominant. They like to be sort of like, and this is something I've had to work on. I definitely feel like I had backlash in friendships when I was younger. I think I was just like slightly Aspergic, which is something we're not going to talk about in this thing, but I think I didn't really understand that people have to be themselves. I think that was actually like a big boundary for me that I didn't understand at times as a child, and I just felt like I tried to sort of domineer people a little bit and they didn't like that. I don't know if perhaps it even happens to a small, I mean, I'm an adult, it doesn't really happen now, I don't think. I hope not, but I think to some extent it can happen in certain situations where it's still something I have to be conscious about. So yeah, they like to be dominant, they're quite assertive, tend to be quite driven, kind of go-getters, get what they want, and it has nothing to do with anything like social standing or anything a lot of the time, but they can be a sort of leader type, if you like. But in males, what was I going to say, in females they don't run, and I think males as well, they don't run in packs often. Like they can have friends, like I have friends, but it's often that they don't sort of like, the thing, it's more like a beta thing. If you have like a pack of people, they more sort of run on their own, more independent sort of thing. So kind of like go to being like a gamma later in life, because often like as a alpha sometimes you can, because people like do run in betas in packs as betas and stuff, like you can like get yourself in situations where you're sort of like, as I said, like overly domineering to certain people that do run in packs and they don't need someone domineering them, for example, and you kind of just get burnt a few times and you become like a gamma, which is like more an introverted version of an alpha, which well, you can be a gamma on your own. Gammas are like sort of self-driven, I think, and I'm going off the top of my head here. I haven't done like a massive amount of research, but I think I'm going to just go off the top of my head. Obviously there's other videos on this if you want a more full explanation, but I think gammas are like more sort of they're enjoyable to have as a group, in a group. They're like self-directed, they don't really give a fuck what other people think. They are like good for people to they're good people to encourage you, and they're quite self-reliant, I feel like, as well. I think that was the thing about gammas. So betas are they more have the attitude of like they just want to get by. They just want to like they often run in packs. They're often I don't know a massive amount about betas. I feel like they're quite driven and hardworking. They often work good in certain work situations. When they are given certain tasks, they can really like get on with it, and like once they're comfortable, like obviously given they want to do the task, obviously a lot more factors come into being a good worker than just being a beta, but like this is when I wish I had my laptop, but I can't be bothered with the stress that my current laptop is bringing. So yeah, they're also I think like less obviously like dominant. They might have like less struggles with other people for that reason, in conflict. I don't think they like conflict as well. That's another thing about betas. And obviously you can be a beta male or you can be a beta female. Obviously beta males and females, they both tend to run in packs. Obviously when you get those big like groups of people, it can be the fact that they're all betas and they kind of have a they like to be more intertwined, and that's how they sort of like function rather than, and I think I'm kind of coming across because like I think I'm just trying to fight this stigma in my head of like alphas. I feel like because alphas are like basically run on their own more, I think there's this kind of idea of like alphas kind of run from themselves rather than betas. They kind of interact with each other, and it's just a different way of sort of like being. They might be more like more standoffish compared to an alpha, but they're not standoffish people. They're confident and more than happy to say what they think, probably even more so than an alpha. An alpha might be more sort of like careful, hence becoming a gamma later, whereas a beta would just be like, this is how I am, I think. Next one was a omega, female or male. I think this is a type of person that is they kind of step away from the status quo. They don't like 9 to 5 jobs. They kind of go about life in a more sort of like intertwined, like a more complicated way. They like to find the little pathways around the norm, if you like, and they can be romantic, introverted, overly sensitive. I'm trying to think of omega females that I know. I think I'm not sure, but I think I had. I don't want to like say exactly who it is in case they ever end up watching this, which is highly unlikely. But I think I can think of an omega female. Actually, I definitely know an omega male that I know. So yeah, I'm not sure in group dynamics how they work, but I think they're just sort of like the more unique one in the group. I think that's an omega for you. Then the next one is the sigma. So this is the top 0.1% of people are sigma. So not top 0.1%, there's only 0.1% of people that are sigma. Male, I think. I'm not sure about female, whether that's a thing for both genders, but I know for a male, I saw a thing that said it was 0.1% of people are sigma. So this is something that I didn't really know much about, but this is someone that is kind of, they call it an introverted alpha. So someone that sort of like kind of is like, they kind of are quite self-reliant, again kind of like a gamma, but more like more, I suppose, assertive than a gamma and like a beta. I feel like not quite as they don't need to be domineering like an alpha